There's a phenomenon so mysterious, so impressive, that even the greatest scientific geniuses were left baffled by it. I'm talking about quantum entanglement, the interlacing of particles at levels that defy our most basic logic. Imagine two particles that, once connected, continue to feel each other, even if separated by thousands of kilometers. Move one. The other reacts instantly, as if distance simply doesn't exist. But what no one tells you is that the same principle is not limited to the microscopic world. Your very being, your consciousness, is also entangled with everything around you. You are connected to fields of energy, to thoughts, to intentions that shape reality far beyond what your eyes can see. Scientists like Albert Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, but today we know entanglement is real, powerful, and accessible. And the most surprising part? When you learn to trust this invisible connection, something extraordinary begins to happen in your life. Most people live as if they are separate from the universe, believing that everything depends solely on physical effort and logic. But when you trust the invisible energy, the one that unites everything through quantum entanglement, something begins to radically change. Trust is the first step to co-creating with the unified field. When you place faith in this subtle connection, your intentions travel, touch other consciousnesses, and return multiplied. Contrary to what we were taught, it is not control that brings extraordinary results. It is conscious surrender. When you release anxiety, the need to know how everything will happen, and simply maintain the frequency of trust, you become a living antenna for infinite possibilities. In 1935, something unsettling shook the foundations of physics. Albert Einstein, along with Boris Podolsky and Nathan Rosen, presented the famous EPR paradox, challenging quantum mechanics. They discovered that entangled particles could instantly influence each other, regardless of the distance. Einstein, skeptical, called it spooky action at a distance. For him, it was impossible to accept that the universe could communicate faster than light. But what he considered an error was later confirmed as one of the greatest hidden truths of the cosmos. Decades later, in 1982, physicist Alain Aspect conducted a revolutionary experiment in Paris, proving that quantum entanglement is real. Two entangled particles reacted instantly, defying all known laws of classical physics. No matter how far apart they were connected beyond space and time. Now pause for a moment and imagine, if particles can do this, what about our consciousness? You are not an isolated being. Your thoughts, your emotions, your vibrational state are also entangled with the invisible field that permeates all creation. What you emit returns. What you feel shapes. And the most impactful part is that this force does not require intellectual understanding to act. It requires emotional attunement and pure intention. Have you ever felt an intuition so strong that it seemed impossible to ignore? Have you ever had the feeling that something or someone was connected to you in an inexplicable way? Modern science now confirms what ancient spiritual masters have always known. Your heart is a direct bridge to the quantum field. Research from the HeartMath Institute reveals that the heart has its own nervous system with over 40,000 neurons, functioning like an independent brain. But more than that, the electromagnetic field generated by the heart is capable of communicating with the environment, influencing and being influenced by the surrounding energies. When you generate elevated feelings, such as gratitude, love, and compassion, your heart's field expands and synchronizes with the subtlest frequencies of the universe. It's as if you turn on a powerful transmitter capable of entangling your consciousness with higher realities. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains that heart coherence not only increases your vital energy, but also facilitates deep states of connection with the quantum field. That is, by harmonizing your heart, you become an active part of the great universal entanglement. But be careful. This connection does not happen through the logical mind or the brute force of will. It happens in the silence of surrender, in the purity of intention, in the moment you truly feel that you are already part of something greater. In 1997, at the University of Geneva, physicist Nicolas Guissin conducted an experiment that seemed straight out of a science fiction movie. Two particles were separated by 11 kilometers. When one was altered, the other reacted instantly, as if distance simply didn't exist. This test proved that quantum entanglement is not just a theory. It is a fact of nature, and it didn't stop there. A study by the Institute of Noetic Sciences demonstrated that human intention can influence the behavior of subatomic particles. In controlled experiments, it was observed that focused thoughts, especially when charged with emotion, altered the interference pattern in double-slit experiments. Do you understand what this means? Your thoughts, if aligned with true feeling, are capable of bending quantum probabilities. You influence reality, not symbolically, but in a real and measurable way. This explains why people who meditate, visualize, and enter elevated states of consciousness can manifest radical changes in their lives. They access, even unconsciously, this field of infinite possibilities that connects everything to everything. Since we are born, we are trained to believe that we are isolated individuals, separated from the world, from others, and even from nature itself. This perception created a collective illusion of separation, where each one fights alone for survival, success, and happiness. But quantum physics, along with ancient spiritual traditions, reveals to us a very different truth. You were never separated from anything. The quantum field is a vast sea of energy where everything is entangled. There is no me and other at the fundamental level of reality. There is only one great living, pulsating organism, of which each being, each atom, each thought is a unique expression. Bruce Lipton, in his work on cellular biology, states that our cells respond not only to chemical signals, but also to invisible energy fields. This means that your emotional states, your thoughts, and your beliefs are in constant communication with the entire universe around you. The problem is that by believing in the illusion of separation, you cut off this communication. You feel alone, disconnected, and powerless, when in fact you are an essential part of a vast and intelligent system. And here's the most powerful detail. By remembering, by feeling, that you are connected, you reactivate this invisible network. You begin to receive signals, synchronicities, opportunities, as if the universe started whispering directly to you. But how can you know if this connection is already active in your life? Have you ever felt an inexplicable urge to change your plans, and thanks to that, something amazing happened? These are not mere accidents. They are clear signs that quantum entanglement is beginning to manifest consciously in your life. The first sign that you are accessing this field is synchronicity. Carl Jung, the great Swiss psychiatrist, describes synchronicity as meaningful coincidences that cannot be explained merely by logic or traditional causality. In fact, they are vibrational responses from the universe to your inner state. When your mind and heart enter into coherence, when you emit pure intentions aligned with elevated emotions, the quantum field responds by organizing events and encounters that seem magical, but are, in reality, highly scientific. You stop forcing life and start dancing with it. Opportunities arise, answers appear, and you deeply feel that you are no longer walking alone. And the more you recognize these synchronicities and give thanks for them, the stronger the connection becomes. Gratitude acts as an amplifier in the quantum field, strengthening your entanglement with everything you wish to manifest. That's why we created the 21-day Gratitude Challenge, where you will adopt daily practices to reprogram your mind, align your energy, and attract the changes you so deeply desire. Check out the link in the first pinned comment. Even though we are naturally connected to the quantum field, most people never consciously activate this connection. And the reason is simple but devastating: fear and doubt. Fear blocks the flow of energy. It closes your vibrational field, aligning you with low frequencies that resonate with separation, scarcity, and limitation. Doubt, in turn, acts as a silent saboteur. The moment you start questioning whether it's possible or real, you cut the invisible thread linking your intention to the field of infinite possibilities. Where you place your attention, you place your energy. If your attention is on lack, fear, or doubt, that is exactly what you amplify. You become a magnet for what you fear, instead of for what you desire. And the cycle repeats. You try to change your reality through physical actions alone, disconnected from the invisible power that could transform everything. The result? Frustration, exhaustion, a sense that life is a constant struggle. But know this. This trap exists only because you were trained to live separated from your true nature. The good news is that you can break this cycle right now. There is a simple and powerful method to consciously activate entanglement and start manifesting results naturally, and that's exactly what we're going to see now. Consciously activating quantum entanglement is much simpler than it seems. It doesn't require sophisticated equipment or years of technical study. The true secret lies within you. Clear intention, elevated emotion, and an open mind. The first step is to align your thought and your feeling. The mind creates the intention. The heart fuels the emotion. Without true emotion, thought is just a weak signal in the quantum field. When both are in harmony, you create a powerful frequency capable of crossing any barrier of time and space. The ideal is to visualize not just what you want, but to feel as if it has already happened. This is the code the quantum field understands, vibration, not words. Visualize your desire in rich detail, but more importantly, dive into the emotion of fulfillment. Then let go. Surrender completely. The quantum field responds to certainty, not anxiety. Trust that, just like entangled particles react instantly, the universe is already organizing events, people, and opportunities to bring your vision into reality. An extra secret: practice coherence every day, even for just a few minutes. Quick gratitude meditations, heartfelt visualizations, and heart-focused breathing exercises create an energetic reprogramming that expands your field and strengthens your conscious entanglement. But be prepared, because once you activate this force, your reality will begin to change so quickly and unexpectedly that it might even seem scary. There is a point of no return on the journey of consciousness. When you understand, not just intellectually, but feel in every cell, that you are entangled with everything, something profound happens. You become the conscious creator of your reality. But once you understand the power of quantum entanglement, you can no longer blame chance, others, or destiny. You realize that every thought, every emotion, every intention is an active piece in the great puzzle of your life. This can be frightening at first because it pulls you out of the comfort zone of victimization. But it is also liberating because it places the key to transformation in your hands. Roger Penrose, renowned physicist and mathematician, proposed that human consciousness can directly influence the structure of reality through subtle quantum processes. If this is true, and more studies suggest it is, then every choice you make carries an incalculable creative power. Imagine knowing that by thinking with love, you are literally shaping invisible patterns that will bring more love into your life. Imagine realizing that by acting out of fear, you are tuning into realities where fear manifests. It's not theory, it's daily practice. And the more you apply this knowledge, the faster reality responds. Doors that once seemed locked open, the people you need to meet appear. The impossible begins to seem normal. All around the world, thousands of people have already experienced the power of fully trusting the quantum field. And their stories are living proof that something extraordinary happens when you surrender to this invisible connection. One such story is Sarah's, an ordinary woman who, after months struggling with financial difficulties, decided to change her approach. Inspired by Dr. Joe Dispenza's teachings, she began meditating daily, feeling gratitude as if her life was already full of abundance. In just 90 days, without changing anything but her internal frequency, she received an unexpected job offer that tripled her income. Another case is Daniel, who was facing a serious health problem. Instead of surrendering to fear, he chose to trust the power of his consciousness entangled with the field. He visualized daily his body healthy and vibrant, sending love and gratitude to his cells. Without any apparent medical explanation, his tests began to improve until he achieved total healing. And then there are countless reports of improbable encounters, reunited loves, business opportunities that came out of nowhere, always after the person aligned mind and heart to the feeling of trust in the invisible. These miracles are not exceptions. They are the natural manifestation of a human being who remembers who they really are, a co-creator of reality entangled with the infinite. Now it's your turn to practically experience the power of quantum entanglement. This exercise is simple, but carries immense transformative power. And the more you practice, the deeper your alignment with the unified field will be. Start by finding a quiet place. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your heart. Breathe slowly and deeply, as if you were filling your chest with golden light. Then, evoke a feeling of gratitude. Don't think, feel. Remember a moment when you felt deeply grateful, even if it's something small. Let that emotion grow within you. Now visualize a sphere of light expanding from your heart. Imagine this light connecting you to everything: the trees, the sky, the people, the animals, the stars. See the threads of light entangling you with the entire universe. While maintaining this vision, clearly visualize a specific intention, something you wish to create or transform in your life. See this intention moving through the network of light, traveling without limits through the quantum field. And here's the most important step: let go. Surrender this intention to the field with absolute trust. Feel that it is already accomplished. Feel as if the universe is conspiring in your favor at this very moment. Remain in this state of gratitude and connection for a few minutes. Then open your eyes and go about your day, paying attention to the synchronicities that will begin to appear. This simple exercise reprograms your frequency and activates your conscious participation in the tuning of creation. As you live your routine, working, talking, dreaming, an invisible network of connections is forming around you, silently. These invisible entanglements are like quantum trails shaping your journey, even if you don't realize it. A small moment of anger, for example, can create a thread of connection to other experiences of frustration yet to come. A genuine gesture of love, on the other hand, can entangle you with unexpected opportunities for growth and happiness. Quantum physics, through entanglement, teaches us that nothing happens in isolation. Everything you emanate returns to you, amplified. That's why small emotional habits, seemingly harmless, have a colossal impact on your future. We all carry invisible marks in our energy field: memories of trauma, limiting beliefs, unresolved emotions. These blockages act like knots that prevent the natural flow of quantum entanglement in our lives. The first step to clearing these blockages is conscious self-observation. Set aside a few minutes every day to ask yourself, what emotion am I carrying right now? Naming the emotion is already the beginning of transformation. The second step is to use breathing as a tool for release. Inhale deeply while imagining you are pulling light into yourself. Exhale, visualizing old emotions, leaving like gray smoke dissolving into the air. Conscious breathing immediately changes your vibrational state. And the third step is intentional replacement. After releasing dense emotions, fill your field with elevated feelings: gratitude, love, trust. This energetically seals your field, preventing old blockages from returning. You don't need to fix your entire past. You just need to elevate your energy in the now, because it is in the now that your future is being shaped. While your body sleeps, your consciousness travels. In dreams, you leave behind the limitations of the logical mind and dive directly into the quantum field, where everything is connected. It is in this state that you often receive messages, signs, and solutions coming from subtle dimensions. Carl Jung stated that dreams are a bridge between the personal unconscious and the collective unconscious, the vast network of information that connects all living beings. And today, with what quantum physics reveals about entanglement, we understand that this connection is even deeper and more real. Many of your dreams are not just reflections of the mind. They are forms of direct communication with the field. They bring symbols, visions, and sensations that can guide your conscious choices in the waking world. Intuition works the same way. It is the whisper of the invisible reality trying to alert, guide, or inspire you before the rational mind can intervene. When you feel a strong hunch, you are picking up vibrations from the field before they fully materialize. That's why trusting your intuitions and paying attention to your dreams is essential to consciously navigate the quantum ocean. They are like secret maps pointing to where the best connections, opportunities, and growth paths are. If you want to accelerate your entanglement with higher realities, start recording your dreams and intuitive feelings. Often they carry the answers you are looking for even before you ask the question. The Quantum Visualization Code. How to send clear messages to the universe. Visualization is not just about imagining pretty pictures in your mind. When done correctly, visualization is about encoding information into the quantum field, like recording an invisible password that grants access to new realities. The most common mistake people make is visualizing superficially, thinking about what they want for a few seconds, but without emotion, without clarity, without true presence. The quantum field does not respond to weak images. It responds to strong and consistent vibrational signals. Here is the true quantum code of visualization. First, engage all your senses. Don't just see what you want. Feel the environment, hear the sounds, touch the textures of things. The more sensory your visualization, the more real it becomes for your brain, and consequently for the field. Second, charge the scene with an elevated emotion. Emotion is the fuel that brings the mental image to life. Feel joy, gratitude, love, as if the desire were already real now. Third, maintain focus long enough. Studies show that it takes at least 68 seconds of focused attention to create an energetic momentum strong enough to influence the field. And lastly, let go. Release the need to control the how and trust that the field, infinitely more intelligent than your rational mind, will organize the means. When you visualize this way, you're not just dreaming. You're emitting clear commands to the fabric of reality, and the field always responds. In the vast and mysterious quantum field, there are no isolated actions. Every thought, every word, every small gesture generates a wave of energy that travels beyond time and space, touching and transforming realities you can't even imagine. Most people believe that only big decisions create big changes. But quantum physics shows that in complex systems, small initial fluctuations can cause gigantic effects, the so-called butterfly effect, a theory supported by the principles of quantum chaos. In 1961, meteorologist Edward Lorenz discovered that altering a minimal variable in his climate model, as small as a butterfly's wing flap, could result in dramatic weather changes weeks later. At the quantum level, the same thing happens. A simple change of emotion or intention creates a cascade of new possible futures. To illustrate this, imagine the story of Lucas, a young man who, despite facing personal difficulties, decided to adopt a small daily ritual. Every morning he dedicated 5 minutes to visualizing his day being guided by joy and gratitude. Nothing more. No grand plans. No excessive effort. Weeks later, without warning, he received a call for a job interview he hadn't even consciously applied for. The contact had been made months earlier, through a network of friends he barely remembered. His silent vibration had reactivated invisible connections. This is the power of the quantum domino effect. A small action aligned with the heart has the capacity to reorganize the entire field around you. The question is, what small dominoes are you tipping over today? Because even the smallest one can trigger the greatest transformation of your life. You don't have to wait for big opportunities. You just need to align your small daily actions with your greater intention. The universe will take care of the rest, because in the quantum field, nothing is small. Everything is sacred. Everything is powerful. Now you know, Something extraordinary happens when you trust quantum entanglement. You discover that you are not a lost passenger in chaos, but a conscious navigator of infinite possibilities. Albert Einstein said, "Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one." Today you understand that this illusion can be shaped, transformed, and recreated, not by force, but by vibration, by intention, and by deep trust in the invisible. You are not separated from anything. You are not limited by anything. You are living energy, creative consciousness, part of a cosmic entanglement that responds to your internal choices. Now the decision is in your hands. Will you continue living as if you were disconnected? Or will you rise up and consciously create the reality you were born to live? If this journey touched your heart, comment below, "I am the bridge between worlds." Share this message with someone who needs to remember their power. Subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and let's expand this wave of awakening and transformation together. What will you choose to create from now on? Because in the invisible game of life, those who awaken lead.